Knitting the mitten for this time-lapse video took about 8 hours of real time. It was my first time knitting a mitten, and my first time doing Fair Isle stranded colorwork knitting. I'm using the magic loop technique to knit in the round on circular needles. Right now I'm doing the cuff, and like many cuffs, it's in 1x1 ribbing stitch to give you more horizontal stretch. That's the knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 you may have heard before. The pattern I'm using imitates the mittens Bernie Sanders was wearing in those Inauguration Day memes. The details of the pattern, yarn, and needles I'm using are in the video description. With the cuff done, you switch to larger needles to counteract the narrowing effect of stranded colorwork and start using some loops multiple times to increase the number of stitches per round to widen the diameter of the main tube. Then you start switching between yarns to make the colored patterns. I'm holding one yarn in each hand, but that's just one of several techniques people use for Fair Isle knitting. Every time a new yarn comes in, it leaves a yarn tail dangling that I'll have to secure later. Here we skip some stitches and hold them open with some black yarn to leave a hole for when we come back to do the thumb. After finishing color work, you start knitting adjacent stitches together to shrink the circumference of the mitten tube. Once it gets narrow enough, you can sew the hole closed using a Kitchener stitch to leave a rounded end, and the yarn tail gets pulled to the inside. Now I turn the mitten inside out so I can weave in all the ends of the colored yarns with a tapestry needle so they don't unravel. The next step is moving the thumb hole onto double pointed needles so you can knit the thumb tube. Once again, you do decreases at the end to shrink the circumference, but since the final hole is really small, this time we just thread the yarn tail through the remaining stitches and cinch it closed before weaving the thumb yarn tails into the inside of the mitten. And with the right mitten finished, all that's left to do is knit the left one to complete the pair.